You're doing all the things. You're emailing, you're posting on social, you're pinning on Pinterest, you recorded YouTube videos, you're making short form content. But at the end of the day, you're not sure if any of it's working. And even if it is, you don't know how to make it better. And if it's not, you don't know what to do about it. That's exactly what I'm going to cover in this week's YouTube video. I'll teach you exactly how to set up your next marketing experiment using my 3T method. If you want a copy of the marketing compass that I'm using while I'm planning in this week's video, there's a link in the description so you can grab a copy for free. All right, we're going to use my marketing compass to plan my next marketing experiment. So at the day of this recording, we are just a couple days into Q2, and I am actually just going to take you inside my data to teach you how to use the marketing compass, because I find that these things are much easier learnt when you can see what's actually happening. So you're going to come quote unquote over my shoulder, and we're going to just walk through the process together. I'm going to show you how you can find most of these statistics or metrics or things that you're looking for in Google Analytics, but I'm also going to show you what that might look like for you if you had your own custom dashboard, because I have one and I use it all the time. So I just want to give you the ability to see how things might look when you're using both of the tools. So you'll see on the right hand side of my screen, we have the marketing compass. I made a copy so I can walk through this. The marketing compass is your guide to make confident marketing decisions that honor both your numbers and your intuition. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm a big facts and feelings girly. So I think it's really important to use your data, but also, like, we're humans on a floating rock, and we have emotions, we have lots of other things that impact us beyond just the data. So yes, it's so important to use your marketing data, but it's also extremely important to honor your humanity, and that's what we're going to do with our marketing compass. Gut feelings and human experiences are a marketing superpower, because our business is personal and people buy from people, and I believe both of those things wholeheartedly. So start by setting up your data tracking. You're going to choose metrics that matter to your business, because numbers that tell you how the needle is actually moving allow you to make big decisions. We're looking at the numbers, but we're also tuning into our feelings. All right, so track. We're going to start by understanding where we are. So we're going to fact check first. We're going to see what our key metrics are showing. And the things that I'm thinking about here is, when I spent my time in Q1, what did that do for me? And do I want to continue to spend my time that way? Or are there other ways that maybe are a better use of my time? If you've had a personal conversation with me, you probably know that Instagram feels like a necessary evil to me. I don't have a ton of fun on it. It's hard for me. Feeling like I got to tell you what's going on in my life is kind of a hard thing when I'm a pretty private human anyways. So I spent some time on Instagram this quarter. I spent some time on Threads. I spent some time on YouTube. I did the teeniest amount of pinning possible. Like, literally, I probably pinned like 6 times, so I'm not even really sure if that counts. And I did a little bit of emailing, but I don't feel like I really did anything super consistently, and that is something that I want to change in Q2. So let's get into it. Let's figure it out. All right, so what are my key metrics showing me? The things that I'm going to look at here are my traffic drivers. So if you have Google Analytics and not a dashboard, you're going to go to reports, and you're going to go to your lifecycle section. Drop down where it says acquisition, click on traffic acquisition, and we're going to change this from the last 28 days to, let's just do the whole year, this year, January to today. Right here, it is organized by channel group. You can change that if you want. So if you want to do session source medium, which I like because I use UTM links, so I'm just going to change it to that. I don't know why these are highlighted. You can see that they're set up in order of sessions. Direct none. There's nothing you can do about direct none traffic with all of the like ad blockers and things that people have on. Like, we just kind of take it with a grain of salt, or that's my advice anyways, is just take that with a grain of salt. So you can see that my next traffic driver was email. That feels pretty good. And then Google and then Facebook, which is interesting because I'm not running any ads and I don't really post on my Facebook page other than just like what I'm sharing on my Instagram. The next thing is Instagram. Notice here that Instagram is separated, which is why I like to use my dashboard for this. So now that I've showed you how to find it in Google Analytics, I'm going to go to my source of truth, which is my dashboard. So I'm going to do a little date range changing, and then I'm going to sort my sessions. Okay, cool. Same thing though. See, here's the real source of truth. Instagram, all of the Instagram traffic is together. So it was actually email and then Instagram and then Google and then Facebook and then YouTube and then testing and then Threads for myself. So that all feels really good. I think that means for me that email works. Instagram does drive traffic. I think the most important thing for me here is that YouTube is driving traffic, and as of right now, like recording this real-time data, I have a channel intro, and then I just have 2 YouTube videos, so I don't have a ton of traffic, but that's pretty cool to see that I got 33 total users from YouTube to my website. Like, I'm happy about that. Threads does drive traffic. That's one of the other things that is interesting to me. So, okay, basically what I'm seeing here is like all the things that I'm trying or testing. Like I tested YouTube this quarter, I tested Threads this quarter. They're working, they're driving traffic. Could I do them better? Yeah, probably. But that's not, where we're at right now in the process. So, okay, all right, my feeling check. So what about this marketing activity makes me excited to implement? What about the marketing activity feels easy to do? Is there anything about the marketing activity that feels off? So that, is for you to answer. So when I do a gut check, when I'm thinking about these things, it's exciting that I don't have to create graphics for Threads. Like that's super exciting to me. I'm not a graphic designer. And it's exciting to me that YouTube is driving traffic because while video is hard for me, building the muscle has been really fun. This has been a really, really fun thing to do, to get better at, to see improvements from video to video. And it's something I'm going to continue to do. The other thing that I think about is that I could be way more intentional with the content that I'm posting on Instagram and on Threads. I get on the wagon and then I fall off the wagon, but I could stay on the wagon and I would definitely probably serve me a lot better if I did. The marketing data shows me that the things I'm doing are driving traffic, and my gut is telling me that I need to be more intentional. And this matters to me because while traffic is great, I'm really interested in generating conversions. So the next piece of this process is try. So we're going to design our next experiment. This is just my personal approach. You need to give it your whole self for 60 to 90 days to really decide if whatever you tried is working, or you need to be so pointed in the amount of times that you tried the thing. Could you do a 30-day experiment on Instagram? Yes, if you post 3 times a day. If you're not going to post 3 times a day, you need to give it 60 days or 90 days. You need more data points. It's not about how long the experiment is. It's about the amount of data points, and did you really give it time to see if it's working? Like you wouldn't give SEO 1 month to decide if it's working. Same thing with Pinterest. You're not going to say, oh, I pinned 30 times and I don't know if it's working. Well, it's because it's not a short-term strategy. So when you're planning your marketing experiments and you're thinking about the time, you need to think about, is this a short-term strategy or is this a long-term strategy? And give the strategy that you've chosen enough width for you to make that decision. My test is going to be intentional sharing on Instagram and Threads. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to say, hey, this is how you can work with me, and here's a link to do so. If you're interested in some questions that I just ask my audience about how they make their buying decisions, which is going to inform the way that I share on Instagram and Threads going forward, I shared about that on my Instagram stories and I actually have it saved to a highlight. So I'll include the link to my Instagram below, and you can go check out the poll and what I learned and what I'm going to do. For how many days? All of Q2, so 90 days. Success will look like an increased downloads of free offers and sales calls booked. And this feels like the right decision for me because this is the next step in the funnel. And one of the things that you can see if you have a custom dashboard is how many free downloads you got. So I generally am talking about the marketing measurement playbook. when I'm talking about my free offers. And you can see here that I had 18 opt-ins, and most of them came from Instagram. Some of them came from ConvertKit. So that means that they were like already on my list for something else and they downloaded that. And then I got one from Google. I have 5 from direct. And based on this information, I would say some of those direct were also probably from Instagram. So obviously Instagram's working. And the more pointed sharing is something that I'll definitely be doing. So that's my experiment. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to adjust based on results and intuition. So you're going to do this after your experiment. I can't show you this piece, but I'll walk you through the worksheet. So you're going to pull up whatever you're using to track again. So whether that's Google Analytics or your marketing dashboard. And if you're like, man, I would love to have one of these marketing dashboards, but I'm not ready for a complete custom one, I do have a plug and play Looker Studio template that gets you started with the basics, which you'll find linked in the description below. So when you're ready to tweak, you're going to adjust based on both your results and your intuition, and you're going to ask yourself, what do the results show? So you're going to come actually look at your data, and then you're going to ask yourself, how did this marketing activity feel? So this is going to be a lot like the first section. Then we're going to take the data that we just got based on the experiment, and we're going to answer what's working so you can do more of it. We're going to answer what's not working so you can stop doing that. And then we're going to just think for a minute, what are the learnings that I want to take into the next experiment? So this is cyclical, right? You've kind of answered these questions again, where you would then go back and then you're going to design your next experiment. What next thing do you want to try? So measuring your marketing is not something that's one and done. Marketing experiments are not something that's one and done. It's so exciting to see this process work as you start to learn things. So if you have any questions about how to use the marketing compass, I would love to answer them. And if you'd like to get a copy for yourself, you can find the link in the description. And if you've happened upon this video and you feel like you landed in the middle of the marketing measurement process, you did. If you go to the description, you'll find a link for my marketing measurement playbook, which walks you from the beginning to the end of the marketing measurement process, and you can grab your copy for free. Thanks for sticking with me. I really enjoyed showing you how to use the marketing compass. If you have any questions, absolutely leave them down below. I would love to answer them for you, and happy experimenting.